I saw the best team of this generation destroyed by a mad rush. Stark, hysterical, emotionally naked, dragging their dumbfounded dumbasses through the dollar store quarter. Soul-beaten players praying to the outline of gods we draw between random stars in the night, who football and beer commercials and gambling addictions convinced us were as inevitable as heat death, who bared their souls to the universe to find arrogance cannot be written in base 3, who passed through the stages of grief on the free fall of the deep ball, hallucinating penalties, who were expelled from the grandest stage through the trap door into the chasm, who cowered at the thought of Brady laughing at them from on high, who ate crow in their hats and convinced themselves it was gourmet humble pie, with dreams, with fears, with waking nightmares in the spectral shape of green blurs of defense. The madmen and fallen angels laugh at the hubris of the tortured poets leasing the phrase three-peat. The sword of Damocles killing the dragon after the rope was cut through by a cursed arrowhead.
Hello and welcome to the TGIF podcast. It's not that. It's the Pod and Long podcast. I have too many podcasts. It's the Rock Network. Too many podcasts.
That is the kind of tight professional opening I've come to expect from this program.
I am your shitty host, Ryan. I'm here with the Word of Drew.
Has anybody actually looked at the Washington Wizards roster? It might be the worst professional roster I've ever seen. Their best player is Jordan Poole. He plays basketball like a 30-year-old guy at the Y who played D2.
Chris Middleton's there. What do you mean?
He hasn't started playing yet.
Okay. All right. We're not counting him in. Mr. Mike is also here.
I am also hiring private security to cover myself in the wake of the Luka trade.
And Mr. Megastar Mark.
So this last week I had COVID. I was not in good shape. The day before the Super Bowl, however, I decided to start Degrassi. And I got through 10 episodes. And boys,
what?
I am rejuvenated. I am so
in the arms of an angel.
to start the DeGrod pod to fill the void that's going to be left behind by Pod and Long, which is this podcast, not TGIF pod.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
It is Pod and Long, not TGI podcast. We are here to break down the Super Bowl, and we can only do it in one way.
In 2023, 4 friends were sentenced to watch bad football for crimes they didn't commit. These men promptly escaped, arguing over text message to the YouTube underground. Today, still growing their audience, they survive with silly voices and running gags. If you have an hour to kill, if you have nothing better to do, and if you can find them, maybe you can listen to the A Block.
There was a Super Bowl. The Eagles are the victors. The Eagles trounced the Chiefs. It was over by halftime, this thing. Over by halftime. You got what you wanted. The devil magic has run out. Devil magic gone. You look so happy, Mike. Literally, I've never seen you look this happy.
Yep.
Revenge is sweet, even though it's the Eagles.
Put it this way. The fact that I willingly was rooting for a Philadelphia sports franchise should tell you all you need to know.
Mr. Megastar Mark, you also are very happy. I think it cured your COVID.
I'm pretty sure it did. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It's the remnants are there, but that's because I just, can't get all of it away. I
Get the hairball up.
Loved watching Mahomes be sad. I want that all the time. I want him to be unhappy with life in general. And I want Travis Kelce this to ruin his relationship with Taylor Swift. And then maybe we're at like a 10th of the way even. So
I think I get more schadenfreude out of watching Travis Kelce just sit there and like all I could think of was the Arrested Development or the what's the movie one with Larry David? Help me.
Curb Your
Curb Your
Enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm.
Oh, the Curb music was just playing it like
Yeah.
they see him like on the bench, like this, looking sad. That's what played in my head. I'm like, I hate that guy.
It was ugly. It was ugly.
It's been a long time since we've had a Super Bowl where the final score wasn't that close and still wasn't indicative of how the game actually was.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
The last time I remember was the Seahawks beating the Broncos
Yes.
when Peyton Manning fumbled the ball on the opening drive and then basically did
He just went
nothing
all
the rest of
downhill from there.
They
Yeah.
actually pinpoint. And one thing I loved is the Eagles, they really didn't let up
No.
until like maybe like a minute left in the third when they knew like mathematically there's no way this team can come back. But you could actually pinpoint when they started playing prevent defense because that's when the Chiefs scored.
Started
So,
scoring points.
I mean,
yeah.
that's damning. That the Chiefs couldn't do anything when the Eagles were actually trying. So that's impressive. Although I'm going to give the Chiefs some credit here. They came in with a game plan to shut Barkley down, and
Yeah.
it
They
worked.
did do that.
But it didn't
Yeah,
matter.
And they did, but the smartest thing the Eagles did was not give them a reason to get out of that game plan.
Mhm.
Like they kept running Barkley into the line, I think knowing it wasn't going to work. But
Mhm.
if they had stopped doing that, then Kansas City changes their plan.
Yep.
I was kind of surprised they didn't put Gainwell because they've used him a couple of times, the backup running back in Philadelphia, to give like Barkley a breather. I just kind of assumed that's what they would be doing all game, is just running right at that line. So I was kind of surprised. We did see him, but it wasn't until the game was in hand and Barkley was pulled. So
I don't think
but
Go
as
ahead,
they
Jer.
say so frequently, styles make fights, right? And this was Kansas City's crappy O line, finally coming to roost against Philadelphia's really good D line.
mhm.
And there's already been 10 million words written about how, they found the secret to stopping Patrick Mahomes, which is only partially true. Yes, they did, but it has nothing to do with a secret or Patrick Mahomes. It has to do with two things we already knew, which is one thing we already knew, which is that if you can generate a pass rush without committing extra defenders, you will win football games. It's what the Giants did to the Patriots twice. It's what the Bucs did to the Chiefs in their Super Bowl when they won. And it's what, Ryan, it's what Denver did to Carolina when they smashed them in the mouth. Like, if you don't have to commit more than 4 personnel and can get to a quarterback 6 times, you're going to win that game.
Right. And, luckily for the Chiefs, not a lot of teams have those front 4
Right.
can do
Have
that.
assembled that kind of a line.
Right.
And now to me, the only thing that was striking in all of this and totally and completely unexpected was the way that Mahomes himself melted down.
Yeah. Mhm.
We've not seen that. Like, Brady lost 3 Super Bowls or whatever. Plenty of very good quarterbacks have lost Super Bowls, but it's rare that they completely implode like that.
Mhm.
he did not play well. That
He was bad.
He
Yeah,
himself was bad. And it's not just that he was under duress, because
No.
he was bad on several. The 2 interceptions, he was bad.
I mean, he didn't crack 100 yards passing until like the third quarter.
Yeah.
Right.
And then
Like,
the strip
it was-
sack, that was bad too. I mean,
Bad pick. Like, did not play good ball.
And the second, was it the Cooper DeJean one where somebody was wide open and he threw it to a different receiver and then it was
Yes.
picked?
mhm.
Like, there were people open. He just was awful.
He was seeing ghosts.
Yeah. Although his receivers did not help. DeAndre Hopkins half-assed that one 4th down.
He dropped
play.
that
It was just-
wide open touch. It was a touchdown and he
Right.
dropped it.
Just didn't even bother to fight the guy for the ball. So, I mean,
Well, there was the one where he was the crossing route where he was wide open in the third quarter and he didn't even
he's gone.
could have came up with that easily. No one was even close, and he
I bet
dropped
he's
it.
gone. I bet Hollywood Brown is gone.
Hollywood
DeAndre
Brown is definitely gone.
Yeah.
DeAndre announced he's retiring today.
Oh, did
No,
he?
well, there we go.
He's out.
Yeah.
He's taking it out of their hands.
Hollywood's
Yeah.
gone, though, too. Hollywood is not going to stick around. Not that this is entirely his fault. He did get hurt,
No.
but still.
He also only showed up in week 18. I
Right.
mean, he was hurt the whole year, but
Yeah, no,
still.
you're right. But still, I don't think it was the right fit.
If you were, I always wonder if you were Xavier Worthy, are you sitting in the locker room after that game and yes, you're sad, but you're also like, F you guys, I did my job.
I actually appreciated the way he played because he scores, and instead of most people when
Right.
they would score in the Super Bowl dancing, he just slammed the ball on the ground
Yeah.
in anger, fuck, why haven't we done this the whole fucking time? And then he scored a second time and he did the same thing.
Same thing.
Slammed the ball on the ground fuck this, and just ran off. So I at least can appreciate his he's not going to celebrate the fact that he played well in the Super Bowl because they're getting killed. But Rashee Rice is going to come back.
Yeah.
So,
but they have some work to do on that offensive line.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
That was
Yeah. Both tackles.
now.
Need to go.
In fairness, Philly. I think the Philly front four also played the game of their lives.
Those
Like
guys are
they
really good.
were just all over the place. You couldn't stop them. And that's in part because Casey's line is garbage, but it's also because they played incredibly well.
Yeah, Sweat.
Fangio had a fantastic game plan, and they executed it. Philly played great defense. Great defense.
If you're the Dolphins, what the fuck didn't you do this last year, Fangio? Like, what the hell, man?
Where was this?
Because his players quit on him. They said that he was too hard of a coach, and
Yep.
that's why he left.
Can I suggest something cynical?
Please.
I did have the stray thought maybe an hour after the game, after I turned the TV off, when I was like, I wonder if we're going to have this conversation in like 3 years from now, as we do with Doug Peterson, where we're going to be like, hey, remember, Nick Sirianni did win a Super Bowl.
From where the season began.
Now, in fairness, so did Doug Peterson.
Yes.
And Doug is in Philadelphia, and now Doug Peterson is out of work.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Is this where we're going to find ourselves?
I know this. We're talking about the Super Bowl. I'm kind of surprised Doug Peterson hasn't caught on as like a quarterback coach somewhere. Maybe
Somewhere?
New Orleans. You know,
Maybe.
North Carolina.
Maybe. All right. Well, let's talk about Sirianni for a second. He's one of my maybe most hated people in the entire NFL, and now he's a Super Bowl champion, which I don't like.
If you guys remember at the beginning of the season, my bet for first coach to be fired was Nick Sirianni. So once again, my expert analysis proved to be correct.
Yep.
I still think he could get fired in the next 3 years.
Oh, he's going to get fired in the next. Something was going to happen.
Hey, Ryan, you know what the Panthers are better at the Eagles? Better than the Eagles at? Coaches who have written a sex book.
That's true. I actually put it on my bookshelf. It's back there now. Put it up with all the other books. No sex books from Sirianni yet.
So
although, we don't know how
my
many.
wife, right?
We don't know how many letters to Penthouse he's written.
Yeah,
he's got a few, I'm sure. I hate that guy. I don't dislike the Eagles in general. I think they're fine, but I hate Nick Sirianni.
Maybe Dick Vermeil wrote a sex book. We just don't
know. It's 40 pages of crying.
Careful.
Yeah, right. His prep after.
If this was the TGF podcast, I'd have several rated R jokes for this, but earmuffs, kids. TM. The Eagles. Eagles repeating chances high? What do we think?
No,
unlikely.
No.
They're going to be. I don't think they're going to be terrible, but at the same time, like they're going to have a new offensive coordinator, and it might be Frank Reich.
Oh God.
I saw that today too.
They got a lot of free agents.
Yep. Like, look, I think what happened was that was a good team that caught fire at the right time.
Yeah.
They had a lot of things kind of fall their way. The Lions got knocked off, and Lions lost some defensive players. The Niners weren't even in the playoffs this year, and they're getting the band back together next year. They've got Saleh back. And they're basically, I think that team is going to be significantly better next year. Is like if they could, fire their medical staff into the sun, as is my perpetual dream. I think the NFC is going to be a tighter picture next year. I think
Mark's Commanders
are frisky. I will not say that about the Cowboys. I think they're going to be terrible again. I think they're going to be really.
Mark's Panthers are going to be really good next year.
No.
Mark and Ryan Panthers.
That's right.
We should.
I'll say only this. Like, I don't know. Eagles repeat. Maybe we spent half the season talking about how terrible they were and how they were going to combust from the inside.
They never did.
They've got 5% of that. Mike Tomlin. Don't doubt him.
Mm-hmm.
Don't doubt. They're going to have as good a shot as anybody next year.
So Josh Sweat played a fucking phenomenal game.
Yep.
In this one, and he's a free agent. And he's not going to stay in Philadelphia. I think he will go elsewhere, but I'm getting Alvin Harper vibes from this guy.
You think
so?
I'm getting, who's that safety? Who was it? Dexter? Who was that guy? For the
Dexter?
You remember that guy?
Who was the MVP for the Bucs?
The one who was the MVP?
Dexter
Jackson. That's right. Who then went and did nothing with the rest of his career.
Larry Brown of the Cowboys.
Yeah, I'll say this, that like who's opposite. Who would you say is the Michael Irvin to his Alvin Harper? Jalen Carter?
Jalen Carter.
I mean, he's an interior defensive lineman, but is it Jalen Carter?
But he does cause havoc and just,
Wow.
That whole D line was fantastic. I don't want to take anything really away from him, but I sometimes wonder whether he would be able to do, if he goes to like the Bears, would he be able to do this again?
Like 2 years ago, we said Hassan Reddick.
Yeah,
big guy, like gonna be great. Never really has been able to put it together ever since then. And he was a part of this ridiculous
spent 12
defense.
years talking about how great Jadeveon Clowney is, and he's not, and he never was.
I'll tell you what, though, props to Sweat, because he just made himself a lot
of money. Made some money.
A lot of money. Last year's defensive end who made that kind of money in a playoff run was Derek Burgess. Who went to the Raiders and was really good for like 3 years. And then
it's funny when you say that name, I think of him and the Raiders.
Raiders, yeah.
Did he make himself the money that Sam Darnold lost? Did you just pick that up?
It's a zero-sum game. The money's got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Chiefs, what do they need to change? Just their offensive line, really?
Also the secondary sucks.
Yeah.
Like, other than Trent McDuffie,
their secondary has never, like in any of these Super Bowl runs, their secondary has never been great.
Yeah.
McDuffie didn't play well though either. I mean, he couldn't shut down AJ Brown.
McDuffie's good. McDuffie deserves to still be there, but the other three do not.
You saw that they committed extra players to stopping Barkley, and the 4 guys or 5 guys they had back there could not stand up on their own. Now, granted, I think AJ Brown is a tremendous talent, and I think Devontae Smith is criminally underrated.
Oh, me too.
And so listen, they were up against really good guys. If the Chiefs were playing a team that had lesser wide receivers, I don't know if their secondary would be exposed as badly, but they got raked over the coals by 2 really good talents.
Yep. Also, Dallas Goedert.
I mean, Dallas Goedert barely even featured in the game.
Holy shit.
He's good too. Yeah. I love the one play call where they just threw it deep to Devontae Smith.
And holy crap, a Jahan Dotson sighting.
I know.
Scored.
I couldn't have told you what roster he was on.
Yeah, the football gods definitely were like, take it easy, John. You're not going to get a touchdown here, buddy. But
he could have been on Mark's Commanders.
Mark's Commanders.
They traded him for nothing.
Where did he play? Was it Penn State? Is that where he was? Penn State.
Penn State.
Wow.
And he was dynamite at Penn State.
Yeah. Oh, he was really good there. He just never translated.
All right. I don't think there's much more to say about the game. Super Bowl commercials, any of them you like, or you hate them all?
The only one I liked was the one where the alien dies with pizza rolls.
What about the seal as a seal?
That was horrible.
I hated that.
Horrible.
I genuinely can't remember any of them.
I will say I like seeing Meg Ryan again. That was cool. I haven't seen her in decades, so that was kind of fun to see her one more time.
This was, and this has been the trend in the last few years, I think, as companies aren't quite sure what to do about anything. This was another extraordinarily safe slate of Super Bowl commercials. It was the mantra was pay the bucks for the big endorser and just let that carry your commercial.
Yeah.
There was nothing outside of the commercial about boobs, which, there was nothing even marginally that pushed envelopes in this game from a commercial advertising standpoint.
Gee, I can't imagine why.
Mrs. Josh Allen was in the boob commercial. I just want to point that one out.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow.
She was in the other. She was in the makeup one too.
Yep.
Nice.
It was a safe slate of ads. There was nothing wrong with it, but there was nothing right with it either.
There's no monkeys playing, clapping along and next to a banjo.
Except for the space alien dying for pizza rolls. That was the only one that was like, okay, they went there.
Mm-hmm.
The Dunkin' Donuts ad had Bill Belichick and his weird girlfriend.
And horrible.
Yeah.
The Dunkin' Donuts one last year sucked, and now they just doubled down on the same shitty idea.
Oh, that sucked. We'll just do more.
That ad was.
Hey, let's do it again, but shittier.
that advertisement was too long and too convoluted unto itself, but also something about Bill's girlfriend looks real creepy. Seeing her in live motion, she got the crazy eye.
If Bill Belichick wasn't as famous as he was, this is a Forensic Files where the wife poisons him. This is definitely where
100%.
My favorite thing I've seen on the internet is what Bill Belichick's girlfriend sees, and it's a clip of Danny DeVito as the Penguin shaking violently in your face. I'm like, oh, that's probably accurate. He's got a bigger rack than she does.
Yeah. God,
We saw his
Bill.
hoodie in person, and it was all
We
stretched out to accommodate said boobs.
Speaking of a boobs commercial, what about the halftime show?
Halftime show I liked a lot.
Yeah,
I thought it was
Kendrick.
cool. Like it was understated. It was stripped down, which is what I would expect from Kendrick. There was a Serena Williams cameo at the end.
I like that. Yeah, I
But
like that.
the thing, from a technical standpoint, I thought you might remember last year I said that I didn't like the line cut because it didn't show me the spectacle. It was too
Yeah,
focused.
right.
Arrow.
Yes.
They did this. They basically did the same cutting philosophy this year, and it worked for this one. It was what you, because when they had the 3D camera in the middle and they're going to the different facets of the X, when they take the overhead shot like that, I hate it. I was like, no, don't break the illusion.
Right.
Don't show me all four corners of it. That took me right out of it. I was like, I never would have taken that shot. I would have stayed right in it.
I thought it was cool that we got to see Kendrick Lamar, who's actually going to be a co-host on the DeGrod pod because how much he hates Drake. So
Wow.
Well, and that's I did say to a friend I was watching the game with, if the Super Bowl people have any brains, they'll have Drake do a rebuttal next year at the Super Bowl.
God.
But they won't do that. They're risk averse.
no, next year's Super Bowl is next year's halftime show is going to be like Jelly Roll and Luke Combs. Like they're going to go
I was
the
just going to
opposite
say,
way
is
with
Clint
this.
Black still with us?
Yeah,
Then,
right.
Um,
I'm gonna go full boomer. I'm gonna go full boomer here. I had no idea what the hell was going on. I barely understood 6 words that he said the entire time. And my wife, who loved last year's halftime show. Well, I mean, I love the Little John part. My wife officially is like, I don't get it. I don't know what's happening. I don't like this. Can it be changed? And we are now both officially in the old people club for whom the Super Bowl halftime show is not made.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, if the bottom of the barrel is the one where the Weeknd wandered lost through a burn ward, this was magnitudes of order better than that.
Oh yeah. Nothing will beat that rap one though. The one with Dre and everything.
Oh, that was so
good.
So good. That one and the Prince one.
The Prince one. Of
Oh,
course.
Prince one was fantastic.
No, and
No,
also there's worse than this one. The Maroon 5 one was worse.
The Maroon
than this.
5 one was
That
real bad.
fucking
Oh, there's a
horrible.
lot of bad ones.
Whole
There's
play.
a lot
that was
of bad
bad.
ones.
You too.
Yeah, that's
Now, Mark and I were having this conversation. Kendrick Lamar joins a reasonably short list of people who've played the halftime show more than once because he was also part of the hip hop one.
Mm-hmm.
You know who's played the most halftime shows in Super Bowl history, and it's not even close?
Rolling Stones?
No.
Who?
You'll never
Up
get
with
it.
people.
They
Who?
played 2.
Up with people, no shit, played like 8 Super Bowl halftimes between
What?
like 1972 and 1985.
Before it was really a thing.
I like those kids. They're so positive.
And all I can think of is The Simpsons hooray
Yes,
for
right.
everything.
Yeah, hooray for everything.
Yep.
Oh, all
If
right.
you don't support this, it's never going to make it. Oh, Abe.
All right. Time for the B block and the news. Saints no longer are coachless. Kellen Moore will coach the Saints.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
Have you
somebody's got to.
Have you seen Kellen Moore? Like, he looks like he's JJ McCarthy's slightly older brother. Like,
Yeah.
he's
Who like buys him beer?
right.
As I said before we came on the air, Kellen Moore just fell on the grenade at the bar so that you could go home with a hot chick.
Yeah, this is not going to work. He's also like, I mean, listen, as young as he is, to take a head coaching job now, definitely take it. I totally get it.
Yeah.
$97 million over the cap
With a
And-
not very talented roster.
on a not, yeah, right. And you can,
And the best part is the quarterback you get is David Carr, who you smoked when you were at Boise State,
Derek Carr.
or Derek Carr, whichever Carr it is. Doesn't matter.
you can,
Like when we were at Fresno, I believe that Kellen Moore beat him like 55-3.
That could
Wow.
I would not be surprised if this is a bottom 3 team next year.
Oh yeah, they're going to be
There's just-
bad.
There's no talent on the squad. There's no money to get better. The draft picks are fine, but like you're not going to rebuild it in 1 year. So
And that may have been like part of the discussions.
Yeah,
Like,
of
we don't
course.
expect you to win immediately. We like what you've done. We're in this situation. We're going to be with you for the long haul.
None of that's ever true, though.
No, I know it's a lie.
right.
But again, there's 32 jobs in the NFL. Well, 31. You
Yeah.
weren't getting the Eagles job. You were there. there's not a lot of these jobs available, and like you don't know when the next opportunity is. Like he just won a
100%.
Super Bowl. They could poop the bed next year. Like this might be his.
Plus,
This could have been his one shot.
Agreed.
It's zero risk for him because let's say he flames out as a head coach. He can go back to any front office in the league and say, the last time I was an OC, I won the Super Bowl.
Right. And he's so young. Like, even if
go
he
back
flames
to
out here,
college,
there's going to be
and-
another opportunity for him down the run. That's why I said, like, take as young as you are, take it immediately. Take whatever head coaching job they throw at you because, it's either going to work or not, but you're still young and you can come back from it. So
I did laugh because Nick Sirianni said to him during something, let's run it back next year. And not 24 hours later was Kellen Moore gone.
Kellen Moore gone.
I got a family, Nick. Like, I got to take care of my kids.
Also,
man.
I hate you.
I don't really like you that much.
Yeah, like,
What does Nick Sirianni do here anyway? He doesn't call plays. What does he do?
Fights with fans.
You got Fangio doing the defense, Kellen Moore doing the offense. He's got
The question is, does the large man with the Italian flag on his hat get a Super Bowl ring?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's like an official employee. Of course he does.
So yeah, I mean, listen, I
Big
know
time.
a guy. I know a guy who was a replay operator for the Chicago Cubs Jumbotron show the year they won the World Series. He got a ring. Grant you, he doesn't get the ring that the players get. They have lesser rings for staff and employees and stuff, but he has a World Series.
I fucking love that. Are you kidding me? That'd be awesome.
So I just saw this come up on Twitter. Apparently, Pat Mahomes Sr. and John Rocker almost got into a fight on Bourbon Street.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Yep.
That doesn't surprise me at all because Patrick Mahomes Sr., as much as he was, kind of a mild-mannered long relief pitcher, he's also got a DUI to his credit. I'm pretty sure.
I think it's
Oh,
three.
there you go.
The one three-peat in the Mahomes family is his father with DUIs.
Yeah, and John Rocker just wants to be relevant again.
Oh yeah.
Pay attention to me!
Desperate for anything. Speaking of desperation, Poochie is gone. No more Jets for Poochie.
Aaron, take me with you. Where are we going? Can I come too?
Go to the Giants. He doesn't have to even sell
We
it.
can play car bingo on the way there.
Hey, Aaron, I got a question for you.
That's all right.
You ever play Mafia? Let's kill that fucking Titans coach. Put me in there. I'll be a shadow coach.
I can't do the voice.
And Drew is thankful for that.
Yeah.
COVID robbed us of Mark's Hackett.
Oh, God.
Another victim of the COVID.
God, where would he go?
Where's Poochie going to go?
Like, okay,
Drew.
Minnesota's
Or
obvious.
Poochie.
Drew, look closer to home, Drew.
No, I mean
Look
maybe
closer
Raiders?
to home,
if
Drew.
that happens, I'm out. I'm this close to being out as it is. If that happens, I'm out.
Poochie to the Raiders? Poochie to the Titans? Is that real?
That could be.
No, he wouldn't go there.
Yeah.
He wouldn't go there. Because for all of his hubris, he knows he's at the end. He's not going anywhere for a rebuild.
All right.
Is there anywhere he could go where it could work?
Minnesota.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's
They're
why
not
he-
taking him.
You look at it and go, all right, look. If I'm the coach, I look at it from this perspective. It's a 1 year deal here. We see what happens. We know that McCarthy's coming off an injury and probably isn't ready to drive the ship yet. Aaron can mentor him a little bit on the way out the door and call it a day.
Now, would I be shocked if he planted cocaine in Jared Goff's luggage and tried to take over the Lions? Nah,
Ooh.
shock me.
So, according to DraftKings Sportsbooks, okay,
Okay.
here are the
We'll
favorites to
gamble
leave
on this.
by a substantial amount. The Pittsburgh Steelers,
Mm.
the favorite to land him, followed by the Raiders.
No, I don't see it. They're too
Followed,
terrible.
the biggest stunner is the San Francisco 49ers sitting at
Whoa.
+350
No, they're
make
not
a
going to
shot
do it.
move and replace extension eligible Brock Purdy for Rodgers, and then rounding out
No,
That would make no sense.
no.
Vikings, Titans, Colts, Rams, Giants rounded out.
Colts?
Well,
Colts.
Mike, don't take this the wrong way. Much like the Titans taking offensive tackles, this is kind of what I want to happen now, just to see what happens to Mike.
He would explode.
You're a cruel man, Drew.
I think the Steelers.
What are you going to
pick
do? Make the Raiders worse? Better men than you have tried and succeeded.
The Steelers make a lot of sense.
Artel's done it twice.
So worse men than you have tried and succeeded.
But now he's still under contract, right? You got to release or trade him, right?
Yes.
You can't just go. So
Hold on. Could you imagine if the Jets somehow pulled off a trade Aaron Rodgers for Brock Purdy straight up?
God,
They both got a
Mike.
deal.
Oh boy, Mike.
we would have an emergency podcast.
Yes,
Oh, Mike.
have to.
Oh, Mike.
Worst part is I've put that in his brain now, and as much as
Look
it's
at it's like you can see it percolating in there. It's like, please.
Hurt people, Drew.
Oh, there's no way they would.
I
That
forgive
makes
you.
no sense.
I
That makes
forgive
no
you.
sense. But you're just trying to hurt Mike right now. You're just trying to hurt him.
No, he's just trying to deflect the fact that Aaron Rodgers is going to the goddamn Raiders. He's going to have the shit sandwich trifecta of Chip Kelly, Aaron Rodgers, and Pete Carroll.
And Tom Brady. Let's not forget that one. That's the garnish on the side.
Can we talk about his
God,
Super Bowl call? It was so bad. It was the Tom Brady fucking retrospective.
Listen,
Yeah.
listen.
When I won this game 9 times.
Oh my god!
Give out Wes Welker again.
Shut up!
The one time you wanted him to be Tom Brady was the one time he wasn't. Which was coming out of halftime when all I wanted to hear from him was how they built the comeback against Atlanta. And that's the one thing he didn't talk about. Unbelievable.
He's so bad.
Look, I think the problem with Brady is I think he has the potential to be good, but I think he got elevated to the number one squad right away with no practice. Like he should have been the number 2 guy for a couple years.
You can see it in his eyes. He's thinking about too much shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's overcoached. Honestly, George W. Bush had the same problem. Too many people telling him too much shit about how to talk. Like Brady's trying to take in all that feedback at once and think about every word that comes out of his mouth, and it's making him worse.
Wouldn't there be a producer though in his ear saying, "Let's talk about the Falcons game"? Like, shouldn't somebody have said that to him coming out of break?
Eat that up. Like
Tom tried. He tried.
Even if you didn't trust Tom to get there and know that that was his moment, somebody should have teed up Burkhardt to tee up Brady.
Right.
No, Kevin. I'm messing up announcers. Kevin tried to do that. He tried.
Yeah, and Kevin's great. Like this is why Burkhardt
Kevin is good.
He has the patience to do that, and he can tell where Tom needs help. But Tom is, I mean, again, could he get there? I mean, he's only been doing the job for 18 games.
He could get there, I guess, but
right now he is bad.
Boy, I don't want to hear about his fucking past. I really don't want to hear about it.
Who wants to hear a story about Kevin Falk?
You know who he reminds me of in the booth? Dan Fouts.
A little bit.
It's very Dan Fouty. It's like, this is what I did once.
Yeah, but
he's
Dan
got a lot of
the relatable.
Yeah, remember when Eric Dickerson was a sideline reporter? He's got a lot of the back when I was Eric Dickerson.
Yeah. All right. Well, Pucci's good as gone. He will not be back with the Jets. I do think it's funny that they flew him in just to tell him you gone.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for coming in. Get the fuck out.
What do the Jets do? Like, you can't go with Tyrod again. Like,
Start the march for Arch, baby.
Start the march.
Well, Kirk Cousins is available. They could bring him in on a 1-year deal.
They're going to go get Jacoby Brissett, and they're going to limp through this season, or they're just going to give the reins to Ty God. Let the chips fall where they may.
I still think
Teddy Bridgewater.
I think Jordan Travis should at least get a look in training.
Right. We've been saying that.
I agree. He should get a look. See what you got.
Why not? All right. He's not the only person going to be on the move because Deebo Samuel has requested a trade.
See ya.
Yeah, that's the
appropriate
Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. Thanks for stopping by.
This is now, what, the second or third time he's requested a trade?
Great.
The appropriate response, if you were ever going to say it, is now. Bye, Felicia.
Yeah.
Bye, Felicia.
Would you take anything for him?
Yeah.
Any draft pick? You wouldn't care?
Any draft pick. Look, I would take a bucket of baseballs and a bag of bats at this point. Exactly.
The problem with him, too, is like Cooper Kupp is also available, and Cooper Kupp is a much better human. So, like, you know,
he's a much older human.
How old is Cooper? He's beat up, I guess. That's the thing. How old is he?
He's over 30.
Yeah, he's definitely over 30. I knew that.
I think he's like 33.
Yeah, but Debo's like close to 30 now, too. I think he's like 29. So, I mean, you know, I don't know.
Buffalo? What about Buffalo for Debo?
No, there's only one person the Bills are going to trade for. One guy who
That's on your
went on the Super Bowl and talked about how much he loves blue cheese and how much he loves fucking snow. Get it done, Buffalo.
Who is this
care
man?
who you have to give up.
He's coming to San Francisco, baby.
There's no snow in San Francisco.
Yeah,
Who are we talking
oh,
about?
there's snow, just the other kind.
Miles Garrett.
San Francisco's.
Oh, he's not a receiver.
No,
Yeah,
he's
all
a
right.
receiver.
You
Josh
need
Allen was
something.
Josh Allen was MVP with nobody this year.
You need somebody.
49ers
If we don't get
are
anybody,
gonna
what's
have to-
Josh Allen going to do? Win another MVP? That'll be a shame.
49ers aren't going to have the money to get Myles Garrett once they have to pick up Rodgers last year of his contract.
Oh my God, you are really poking the bear here.
Okay, it's fine. We're all fine here.
Dude, I'm like that guy in Life of Brian at the stoning. It can't get any worse for me. I might as well dive into the deep end.
My God. Rumor has it that
Like, you have actually a little bit more hope than somebody else in this podcast. Does that feel weird for you?
who me?
Yeah, you with your Panthers.
I still have a sex book coach. I mean, you might pick my team is not enough. I need some pass rushers. I need a new receiver. We need some stuff.
You trade for Cooper Kupp then, or Debo.
I mean, I'd take Debo. Cooper Cups wouldn't work, I don't think. We already have an Adam Thielen. We already have a Cooper Cup.
We have Cooper Kupp at home.
Yeah.
My God, that's Patrick Jeffers music.
Yeah.
Patrick Jeffers, the original Cooper Cup.
That's right.
So I
For
also
one
thought
season.
that apparently Joey Bosa might be a cap casualty out in
I
San
heard
Diego
that.
/ Los
Yeah.
Angeles.
Well,
Do the Niners go after him?
Good.
But the
Maybe his brothers set those two opposite each other?
Yeah. And Khalil Mack is still out there. Well, will be out there. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
he's still got some juice. I mean, he's.
Yeah. I'm just thinking of Myles Garrett and Nick Bosa just coming off the ends, just absolutely with Saleh calling the plays, just absolutely destroying people.
Well, you can keep dreaming then.
You're not getting them.
We got multiple draft picks. Do you?
Yeah, we have the 11th overall pick.
They got to move Debo Samuel somewhere.
Remember, our team shit the bed this year, and we have a bad track record with first round picks. If you told me take the 11th pick and another something else and trade it for Myles Garrett, I say thank you very much, and I go on my day.
By the way, sidebar apropos of nothing. Has anybody else seen the Nick Bosa protein shake commercial?
No.
It might be the worst celebrity endorsement I've ever seen. Like it has all the hallmarks of the Mr. Burns. We did 60 takes and that was the best one.
Senor Burns is
Senior Schindler's muy bueno. That might be, honestly, that little spiel might be one of my favorite gags in the history of The Simpsons. Me and Oscar Schindler like peas in a pod. We're both factory owners. We both built shells for the Nazis, but mine worked, damn it.
The other rumor out there is Matthew Stafford may be on the move.
To Los Gigantes de Nueva York.
To Sunny Oaks retirement home. Like,
Yeah.
that's the only place he should go. Just do your Sleep Number commercials and walk away, my man.
Yeah, there's nothing. This feels like he should have retired years ago. Like he had a perfect opportunity to
He
leave
still
on top.
got it.
He didn't.
He
I
still
know,
got
but,
it, guys.
He's not going to win it
Eagles-
with the Rams if he stays, and he's not going to win it with the Giants if he goes there.
Certainly not.
The Eagles had to play the Rams. They're the only team that almost beat them. The Commanders got crushed. The Chiefs got crushed. Rams
But
were within a score of winning that game.
by the way, I
That
can't
just
believe we
was
didn't
a
talk
good
about this during the
sound
Super Bowl. We saw baby hands.
It's true.
It's
He
coming
threw
up.
a pass.
It's coming up in a minute. It's coming up
okay,
in a
all
minute.
right.
All right. All right.
Super Bowl champion, baby hand.
It's
Right.
coming up in a minute. Okay. All right. Hey, there's news about Matt Patricia. Can we get Matt on the horn? All right. Looks like we got Matt. All right. Hey, Matt.
Hey,
How you doing?
Looks like you might get a job. The
Yeah.
first time in 3 years?
is that a trapper
Well-
keeper you have? Oh no, it's
It's a play sheet.
about
Looks
as
like a
good.
play sheet.
No, it's Barbie.
Barbie.
It's Barbie.
Yeah, right.
All right. Good, nice work. Ohio State gonna hire you as the D coordinator?
Yeah, why not? It'll work. Ryan Date's going
Hey
to
Matt, can you hold on? You're covering your mouth. This is an interview.
I have to cover my mouth, otherwise they steal the signals.
There's no signals. It's an interview.
Heard about another radio station stealing signals? Is that?
I'm being monitored by 107.3 The Weasel.
Shirt coming soon.
Mm-hmm.
Coming soon to the Pot and Lawn gift shop. Yeah, we're ready.
All right.
We're gonna give it the old college try.
We're a one Ryan Day heart attack from Matt Patricia, Ohio State head coach.
Oh my God.
Which is, by the way, how Ryan Day became head coach when Urban Meyer walked away.
Hey, one more question before you go, Matt.
Yeah.
One more question. Are you going to also spray paint your beard on as solidarity to be with Coach Day?
No, this is all natural.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Matt, do you know how to drive a golf cart better than that person who rammed it into the wall at the stadium after the national championship game with Ryan Day on it?
I'm pretty good at driving a golf cart. They use my driving skills for that Austin Powers movie.
Mm-hmm.
You remember way back?
Yeah, sure.
That you were the inspiration for that?
Yep. I actually showed them how to do that.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Matt.
We'll
Good
see you
luck
at
at
the
Ohio State.
draft, Matt. So you can talk about Ohio State with us.
There's a really good
The Ohio State, please.
there's a really good German restaurant in Columbus, Ohio that I can recommend to you.
There you go.
I love me some schnitzel.
Put that on a shirt.
Love me some schnitzel.
All right.
And
Y'all doing make that a shirt? Y'all doing coitus?
Pod and Long gift shop is rapidly expanding to meet the needs of the expanding. Pod and
Y'all
Long
doing
gift shop.
coitus? That's a shirt you can't wear anywhere.
sure you
Oh,
can.
you
wear
can
that
wear
out.
that at a Swan concert. Come
Absolutely.
on.
Y'all doing coitus?
Bar
But
mitzvahs,
it's got to be like a fancy script.
100%.
funerals.
Very fancy.
It's
Y'all,
very-
y'all doing coitus? Oh God! All right, Mark. I want a mock draft update
Okay, so
before we end the season. So where are we at now?
NFL.com. Yeah, so one of the guys that I do follow is Chad Reuter of NFL.com. He did a 3-round draft. I'm not going to go the 3 rounds.
More or
We'll go
less.
with the first rounds. Okay, we'll go with the first. So top 5. Tennessee
Yep.
Titans taking Cam Ward.
Mm.
The Browns taking Travis Hunter.
Huh.
Giants taking Shadir Sanders.
Oh, God.
Patriots taking Abdul Carter. And Jaguars taking Will Johnson.
Okay.
And just because this is real funny, they have the Raiders pick 6, and they have the Raiders taking Ashton Genty, the running back. So
Whoa.
that would be weird. Now the Panthers take Walter Nolan, defensive tackle out of Mississippi.
Don't know him, but okay.
The Niners
Traded
take
to the
Kelvin
Titans.
Banks Jr., offensive tackle from Texas.
Also
Yeah.
traded the
What's that?
Was that true?
We're trading our picks to the Titans.
Titans. The Titans trade Cam Ward for both of those offensive tackles somehow.
They do.
And the Bills take Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle from Michigan. So obviously there'll be about 1 billion mock drafts.
Yeah,
Between now
they'll
and
change a lot before we next.
When we do our
we
free
ne-
agency episode,
Right.
I'll update.
We'll do an update then.
Yep.
Before we go into our segments and we wrap up this season, we usually do a team check-in for everybody. So, what's on your wish list to get your team better? Let's start with you, Mr. Mike.
An entirely new medical staff.
Okay.
No, they need a little bit of offensive line help, not a ton, but there's some like Trent Williams can't play forever. Drafting his eventual replacement or another body on the line would be helpful. I think they're good at receiver. I think having Jennings, Ayuk, and Percival. Let's just hope he doesn't get shot in the offseason this year.
Don't get
They're
shot.
good there. If they didn't go offensive line, I would love to see them beef up the secondary because I think they're still kind of weak in the secondary. And obviously, saying fuck it and getting Myles Garrett would also be acceptable. Like I could live with that. But
right.
I think it was a year where they got absolutely wrecked by injuries. Like this is a team that is not that wreck. It was just that year. They were cursed. It was just like the Bengals after they lost in the Super Bowl too. Like, you know, you had the Super Bowl loser notoriously has a terrible season afterwards. And the Niners had that terrible season.
All right, Mr. Mark, Mr. Megastar Mark.
Bills
Your
need, I
wish
think
list?
after watching that Eagles game, I think it's very apparent the Bills need to get better on the D-line. And not just with a pass rusher. They do need a pass rusher at a defensive end spot. Ed Oliver's fine. They need that fat defensive tackle, and I've been banging that drum for how many years on this podcast, and they never do it. They need to just invest with a draft pick, a big fat guy. I don't care if it's not sexy. I don't care if all he does is stuff to run. I don't care if he brings no pass rush. They just need that player. So I'd like to see that, and I'd like to see like somebody to replace DeMar Hamlin. DeMar, great guy, not a great football player. So, you know, that you can probably get in free agency. You don't need to draft somebody like
Florida's got a defensive tackle for you, baby.
Yeah, that's right.
They do.
Listen, I'm not opposed to the Bills taking him in like the 7th round. Why not? Just
He
do
can
a
run the ball too. We saw him run the ball.
Right. Who cares? But yeah.
Drew, do you yield your time, or do you want to actually
No,
give some answers?
I'd really like to see Jeff McNeil return to the form that had him win a batting championship, and you can never have many relief pitchers. So if the Mets could, you know, swing a trade for a couple more late innings guys without giving up their farm system, I think that'd be in their best interest.
What do you think about Winker as a DH? I feel like we could do better, but I love Winker.
We can, but like, there's been so much this offseason focused on obviously getting Soto and dealing with Alonso to bring him back. That, like, let's face it, your DH spot, unless it's Alonso, is going to hit like 7th in the lineup anyway.
Right. I'd like the DH to hit more than like career 260, but still.
Well, or you'd like him to hit more than 8 home runs a year. Like if he's going to hit 260, be a guy who hits 25. Winker, I don't think is either of those guys.
However, I do really enjoy Winker. Like
I do too.
Talking. Like there's something nice. There's something real funny about like having that attitude.
He's one of the all-time great undeserving shit disturbers.
Oh my God,
he shouldn't be saying a word to anybody, and instead he says many words to everybody.
At every stop along the baseline, he has something for the other guy.
Absolutely.
And then usually the crowd too.
And usually the crowd.
Yeah.
I've detailed mine. I need a better receiver, and Panthers need some kind of defense. I don't know if it's a corner or pass rush or we need something. Anything. I'll take anything. I wish we had a higher pick, but that's okay. We'll get somebody. There'll be somebody on defense that falls.
Right.
Several defenders will fall like last year, so I think it'll be fine. All right, those are our team check-ins. It's time for broadcasting moments of the week. There's only 3, okay? It's real short. There's only 3. Let me pull these up for you real quick. All right. Number 1 is our guy, Jameis Winston. Playing with a jazz band. Playing the cowbell.
Perfect for him.
With the jazz band.
Did he steal that cowbell?
Jameis has a bright future as a sideline reporter.
Yes.
In the NFL.
Yes.
He also said
or the UFL.
Peter Schrager tweeted this. He said, I bumped into Jameis Winston on the field after the game, and he said, how cool is this? I'm at a Super Bowl. You're not playing in the Super Bowl. You're just there. What do you mean?
What? Maybe he realized that's the closest he's ever come.
I think he realizes it.
You know, based on things we've said in the past, what was Spencer Rattler doing while Jameis Winston was doing it? If Spencer's the bath salts version of Jameis Winston,
I don't know. We talked about it. And they baby hands is a Super Bowl champion. So we have to bring this play back where he tried to throw it, but his baby hands just wouldn't let go.
Let go of the ball.
Oh, this is maybe the funniest play of the season. The throw sack. I don't know what you would call
We
this.
could have a compilation of great plays of the last, like since we've done on and long, like that. The Ezekiel Elliott thrown into the shadow
Maybe in
realm.
the off season we have time off, so maybe in the off season I'll do a compilation of the funniest plays during our time together.
Was it Mac Jones, the one who threw the interception that got
Yes.
trucked over? That
Yeah,
was,
I got ran over by Chandler Jones.
yeah, that was amazing.
Stiff armed. That was good. Yeah, the last 3 years of funny plays. That'd be interesting. And one more.
Yeah.
Brandon Staley, who worked in San Francisco, no longer works there, might be the D coordinator in New Orleans. Thank you so much to the Saints. Thank you so much for sucking so badly.
Oh, New Orleans, they're going to be real.
Thank you. I love it. All right, Stripe Spiral. We have any updates, or we know nothing this week?
Nothing,
All right,
nothing of note.
nothing of note. Okay, it's time for the season finale.
You're traveling through another dimension, a dimension not of intelligence and morality, but of stupidity and hubris, a journey into a hellscape whose boundaries are the limits of human depravity. That's a fallen goalpost up ahead. Your next stop, Football Fubar.
That's right. Football Fubar season finale. This is what, the 20th or so? 23, something like that. Full Fubars this year. Who do we got?
So, as we talked about earlier, in the history of Super Bowl games, what we witnessed on Sunday was definitely one of them. Kind of a mad game. Not a lot of enjoyment coming out of that game other than watching the Chiefs get their barn doors blown off. But let's talk about a more exciting Super Bowl. Exciting for all the wrong reasons, because, gents, it's high time we induct the 2016-2017 Atlanta Falcons into Football Fubar and celebrate their embarrassing collapse in Super Bowl 51. So, going into the Super Bowl, the Atlanta Falcons put together an 11-5 record, with Matt Ryan taking home the MVP with gaudy numbers he would never, ever, ever come close to replicating again in his career. The Patriots, unfortunately, as was typical of Patriots of this era, cruised to the AFC Championship game. They were 14-2. There's no real competition. They just blew away everybody. Super Bowl 51 was held at NRG Stadium in Houston. And after Luke Bryan haunted the event with his whiteness during the national anthem, the game began, and the Falcons looked unstoppable. They scored touchdowns on their first two possessions, with touchdowns by Devonta Freeman and Austin Hooper. There's a name you haven't heard of in a while. The Patriots got the ball back after the Hooper touchdown. Brady immediately threw a pick to NFL legend Robert Alford, who then recovered a fumble, who also had recovered a fumble earlier that game. With the score 21-0, the Patriots managed a measly field goal at the end of the half, and the game was looking a lot like the game we all just watched this last weekend, with the NFC team rolling to an easy victory over the heavily favored AFC team. Now, after an involved halftime show featuring drones and over a dozen costume changes from Lady Gaga, the teams hit the field for the second half. Now, what's interesting, and I'm bearing the lead here, I know. After the game, Falcons wide receiver Mohamed Sanu blamed the length of the halftime show as the reason the Falcons struggled. He said that it was super long and distracting to the team, and they couldn't focus afterwards. So, whatever you got to say to help you sleep at night, Sanu. Despite what he said, though, the Falcons didn't look too distracted coming out of the gates. As a second half kickoff, they methodically marched down the field for an 83-yard touchdown drive, culminating in a Tevin Coleman touchdown, putting the Falcons up 28-3.
Oh, boy.
A score that will live in infamy. The Falcons, seemingly content to just coast through the rest of the game en route to their first Super Bowl, took the foot off the gas, which is something the Eagles, we talked about it earlier, did not do in this game. But, hey, you're up by 4 scores in the third quarter of a Super Bowl. What could go wrong? The following possession, the Patriots marched on the field and struck with a touchdown to James White, bringing the score to 28-9 after a failed 2-point conversion. No big deal, though, right? Those 2 possessions took up almost the entirety of the third quarter. Not a lot of time left. Falcons were forced to punt on the next drive. Patriots got the ball back, tacked on a field goal, 28-12, with only 10 minutes left in the game. Falcons still got this, right? Falcons got the ball back and were bullied around by the Patriots defense with Matt Ryan getting strip sacked and the Patriots subsequently scoring a touchdown to Danny Amendola with a 2-point conversion, bringing the score now to 28-20 with 6 minutes left. Oh, fuck. And if you guys were like me, I remember I watched this Super Bowl alone that time. I just knew what was coming. Like the minute this happened, I'm like, fucking Patriots, here we go. Falcons got the ball back and not surprisingly did absolutely nothing. Patriots took the remaining 6 minutes left in the clock to drive down the field and scored a James White touchdown again and a 2-point conversion to Danny Amendola again to tie the game at 28 with 58 seconds left. 10 minutes away from their first Super Bowl win with a 16-point lead, and the Falcons fucking blew it. Patriots got the ball first in overtime. Y'all know how this story goes. They drove right down the field with another James White touchdown, and the game was over. And I still have not forgiven the Falcons for plaguing this world with yet another Patriots Super Bowl victory. So, Eagles, great job beating the shit out of the Chiefs from the first whistle to the last. You learned from the Falcons' fuck up to never let an elite team get back up. In Atlanta, I hope you never, ever win a fucking Super Bowl because of this debacle. I hope your city is personally and perennially stuck with rooting for Trae Young in his short shorts for the next decade with no championships to show for it. For I am a petty man, and thus endeth, my friends, the third season of Football Fubar. I did that recovering from COVID.
Wow.
You can tell it was a little salty.
Special. It hurt listening to it again.
I'll say this for the Chiefs, though. They've got that same thing. Like, they were down at the half, and I was like, this isn't over yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's not over yet. I had that same feeling that I used to get from the Patriots.
Yep, me too.
Yeah, not this time. Not this time. All right, Mike, you have a dip of the week?
Nah.
Okay.
Just say Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones.
Sad boy boat will be Mahomes, Kelsey,
Taylor Swift.
Travis Taylor.
Taylor
Swift.
maybe John Mara.
Yeah.
Giants owner John Mara. Game balls. Give me a game ball, Drew. Could be season long. It doesn't have to be the Super Bowl. It could be season long. All right, Mark.
I don't know. Shit.
Okay.
No, because Drew didn't say it. I'm giving a season long to Brock Bowers just to give Drew something.
There you
Okay.
go.
All right. Brock Bowers.
What a great player. He is really good.
He's really great.
Brock Bowers is good. Mr. Mike.
For thinking of the season, Saquon Barkley. Got to win a title and make Giants fans sad.
Yeah, he did
know
both
what?
of those things.
I'm going to go ahead and do it because I never actually do a football game ball, but I'm going to do it. Game ball Devontae Smith, criminally underrated. Criminally.
Agreed.
Yeah. All right. Game ball Cooper DeJean.
Yes.
Iowa.
I'm saying that because our draft special that we did, we had a lot of talk at the end of the draft about why are these people not picking Cooper DeJean
Yeah.
at the very, very end. Or it was just me and Mark. It was down to the two final men at the 5th hour or whatever it was.
We traded out. Okay. So we didn't want anything to do with the first round.
Yeah, Cooper DeJean was not picked until the second round. And boy, that seems like an error. An error in judgment by some teams.
Yep.
So he gets my game ball. Plugs. Bloody good music. What do we got?
Review of the new Lacuna Coil album, which comes out this Friday, is up. Review of the new Spiders album To Follow, which also comes out this Friday. I don't know if that'll get posted this week or early next, but it's also on the way.
There's a lot more stuff going to be on there when we're off, so check it out. Don't forget. Quite possibly. All right, let's start with the podcast that does exist. The TGIF podcast, as I tried to introduce it when we started. We've got the next episode, which is going to be Valentine's Day episodes. Mostly. We've got the list. Are you ready? You ready for the list?
Ryan just let us know about the list literally like 20 minutes before.
Which is why I introduced this show. Like, it was TGIF because I had TGIF on the brain. All right, Perfect Strangers. Season 2, Episode 7. Falling in Love is Balky's excited to be in love for the first time. Larry worries Balky is setting himself up for heartbreak. Okay.
What
Classic.
season is that of Perfect Strangers?
2.
Oh, that's going to be good. Season 2,
It could be
Perfect
good.
Strangers is phenomenal.
Season 2, episode 17 of Step by Step, Love Port Washington style. Dana gets dumped by her boyfriend right before Valentine's Day. Takes out her frustrations on everyone, including a potential new suitor. Frank gets a temporary job at Carol's hairdressing place.
Love that.
Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place. Season 2, episode 16.
The
Oh
rare
my god,
one.
I forgot that show existed.
Sure, Ryan Reynolds.
It's Two Guys, a Girl, and a Valentine's Day. Irene is in love with Pete, but it's mostly one way. Sean is in love with Johnny, but she doesn't realize it. And he doesn't know what to do when Sean states her love for him. That was a Christmas present we got for ourselves one year. We were all like,
Right.
it's on sale. Let's get it.
$9 for the whole set. Yeah.
Yeah. And finally, Family Matters,
There we
season 8, episode 18. This is not
I'm
looking
now
good.
a little nervous now because
Le Jour d'Amour.
Yeah.
Le Jour d'Amour. Urkel hosts 3 Valentine's Day stories.
Oh, that could
I'm
be
not
okay.
going to spoil anything else.
That could be okay.
I'm not going to
You've got
spoil who
time
they're
travel.
about. 3 Valentine's Day stories. That's the upcoming TGIF
Now
podcast.
tell everybody what you mercifully did not subject us to.
Oh, well, I did not put a Full House in, but the Full House Valentine's Day episode is about Michelle and her Valentine. So
No.
it could have cooked.
Greg and I
These
almost
guys.
walked out of the last podcast because of that
Yes.
Full House episode. So thank you
Coulda-
for not giving us that one.
All right. That podcast will come out at some point in the next couple weeks. So look for that. Do you have a DeGrod Pod update?
Yes. Late
Minus
March, first episode.
March?
Next month. It's coming out. I'm thinking late March. I
Late
wanna give
March.
Everybody enough time. We're going to do 4 episodes, the first 4 episodes, right? We're doing a month it's every single month we're going to do another 4 episodes. Okay, they're only 23 minutes long. You can knock this out on the toilet, okay? It's
I love
It's
how that's
pronounced
directed
Scarlet.
specifically at me.
and I've spent, like I said, I was watching this show,
10.
fell in love with it again. I forgot how goofy first season is.
The
It's
first season is
So good.
a little campy.
it's amazing. Marco just
Polo.
Oh, I forgot about Marco.
how did you forget about Marco? He battles with his sexuality for like 9 seasons.
For 9 straight years. Yeah.
The pressure is on here, Drew. What are we going to do? Have you made your decision, or are you taking your talents to another podcast?
I'm just going to enjoy the off season for now. And, make a
you gotta
decision later.
Listen,
talk to your family.
Yep.
Drew, if you're not going to be on it, Drew's wife will be on it. So,
He might head to a
Might.
darkness retreat just so we can't get a hold of him. We can't get a hold of Drew. Where is he? He left his cell phone. He's at the Aaron Rodgers
I'm not
darkness
entirely
retreat.
unconvinced I can't get JT, the actor who played JT, to be on this
To
podcast.
do it. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
You could probably get everybody but Drake. What are they doing? What else are they doing?
There's
One
only
of them
one
is-
question you got to ask JT, which is when you read the script where you die, how did they approach you with that?
Oh my god!
He was on the show for like 7 years, and then he
Yes.
dies in his mascot costume.
Costume. Yes.
Oh,
Stabbed by some kid who basically yells at him, "Stay out of Riverdale."
Yeah, and then they come to join the school later on. remember?
Yes.
Yeah.
Then the schools merge.
oh boy!
This is what you, everybody who's listening, this is what you get to hear and experience at the
DeGrod
DeGrod
Pod.
Pod, which will be launching next month.
That's crazy.
No, it's not.
It's launching next month.
No, it's not.
How many co-hosts are going to be on this show? At least 6.
The Octopod.
the Octopod.
It'll be like the Red Zone.
Octopod DeGrod Pod.
DeGrod Pod.
Oh man. Okay. All right, DeGrod Pod. We'll get information out to you.
You remember that scene in the Birdcage where he's watching the show on TV? It's the political talk show on TV, and it's just 4 dudes screaming at each other incoherently. And he goes, "It really is the smartest show on TV." That's going to be DeGrod Pod.
Just wild. No rules on DeGrod Pod.
Nope.
There's no rules on this show.
no rules to
Earmuffs, Drew.
Earmuffs.
Sense.
We're gonna have a 107.3 Weasel shirt. Is that we're working on it?
It's in production.
You want one? You gotta pay up. We'll put it on we'll make a shop. We're working on the design now. I like the back of the idea of and the fart man, but this is all the hosts are crossed out.
Yeah. Our totally black shirt with cursive writing, y'all doing coitus.
Y'all doing coitus. Yeah, we got a few shirts that we came up with, so my God. Mike is gonna start selling them out of his house, so
Yep.
flood him with orders. Especially he's going to be really depressed when Brock Purdy gets traded for Aaron Rodgers. That's going to be bad. So he needs something to do, guys. All right. The next episode of this show, not the DeGrod Pod, will be after the NFL free agency is completed. That's the next time we'll see you. That's probably at the end of March, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes there's breaking news. Breaking news.
What would be the biggest piece of breaking news that would happen that we'd have to do something?
For Brock Purdy.
Yeah, right.
Other than that, yeah. I don't think there is anything else. Myles Garrett being traded, is that big enough for breaking news?
Oh, that's not big enough for
Roger Goodell abdicates the throne and it starts a secession war.
Okay, sure.
Somehow the Duke of Savoy ends up as the new.
Gary
Bettman
Bettman takes
right
over,
there.
and he's just as confused as everybody else.
Gary.
The guy who's the president of FIFA that everybody hates takes over.
Who's that dude who ran F1?
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I don't know.
Right, the guy who looks like a cartoon Bond villain with like the white hair.
Yeah.
Or, what was his name?
I'm not going to know that one.
Oh wait, Vince McMahon, NFL commissioner. I think.
There you go. That would be something.
You mean we're not going to do
my
a
dad.
UFL podcast?
Yeah, a UFL.
That would be after NFL free agency.
Go Showboats.
We'll talk about the UFL.
God, I think I might be changing allegiances.
Really?
I think I might not be on board with Cacao Nation anymore. I
Oh.
might
What?
switch to the Michigan Panthers. I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see.
What?
We'll see.
You can't
These things
do
are
that.
all under consideration.
You can't do that. We will also live stream the first round of the draft again. Mark that down. That was a lot of fun last time. So get ready for 5 hours of voices and nonsense.
With special guest of sadness, Greg B.
Yes.
Greg B will be on that show, and he will
Got to for
at least do the
first
Titans
absolutely.
part. He has to at least do the Titans part. So he's contractually obligated to do the Titans
Yeah.
pick.
That was part of his release from this podcast.
Yes,
He
we
still
let him to
doesn't
leave,
come back.
but yes. All right, we're out of here. Thanks for a great season, guys. We'll see you in March. Peace out.
Bye.
Bye.